Look, shawty, it's a
Yeah.
look, shawty, it's a bomb in the building. When I link with you, nothing else matters. What you trying to do? I got me some time.
Good evening, sir. We have a lot to do, so let us jump right in. In terms of creating the best hip-hop music possible, who works harder? The Hispanic community or a different group?
All right. So the question is, do Hispanic artists work harder than, I guess, black and white artists in Arizona? And I think that's kind of a double-edged question, I guess. So let's start here. Let's say I got two people. All right, worker A, worker B. Both of them are being charged with making a chair. All right. Worker A makes that chair in 7 days. Worker B makes that same chair in 3 days. It's the same chair at the end of the day. Who worked harder? Most people are going to say that, worker A, who had to do it in a week. It took him a week to do it. Okay, cool. Now, let's say that worker A and worker B are once again going to make another chair. All right. Worker A takes 7 days to make that chair. Worker B takes 3 days and his chair is better. Now, who's worked harder? Some people are still going to say that, the person that had to put in more time to get to the chair worked harder. But yet the guy that put in less time made the better chair. You understand what I'm saying? That's where I think it gets tricky. And that's a really good example of, I think, Arizona. I do believe that, I guess, Hispanic artists, just because, it's Arizona, dude. It's Mexican through and through. And that's totally cool. I love it. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time that, I'm from a family where, two moms and a dad. My aunt moved in with us when I was young. A teacher, a nurse, and a truck driver. I know hard work. But when I got to Arizona and kind of took in the culture for the first time, specifically Hispanic culture, I realized that there was a whole nother gear that I could get to. You know what I'm saying? So definitely I would say that the Hispanic artists work harder. The problem is that I don't think that they make better music than just other people out here when it comes to hip hop. You know what I mean? When it comes to hip hop, yeah, I can't honestly say that I guess Hispanics would make better hip hop and rap music than a black guy or a white guy, whoever. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a lot of people that their music I would like to listen to before I get to, I don't know, say a Cactus Boy or a 602 Byron or somebody like that. Now, which is, and this is why the whole Chris Coke thing is kind of odd to me, because I don't understand why Chris Coke wasn't embraced like he should have been, because he's Hispanic who can rap with the best of them. You know what I mean? What's the album he put out? An album about sex, drugs, and money, or something like that. I think it's an Arizona classic. You know what I mean? That's an amazing project. He is an artist that can check a lot of those boxes, but he was never embraced like that. And I don't understand, in Arizona, where you would have the backing for an expanded character like him to do something major. I always wondered why that didn't happen. And I know a lot of people are gonna circle back to, Arizona can be deemed as somewhat racist as far as people just not getting down with, I guess, the Mexican sounds and things like that. Listen, I don't want to get into that. I don't know if that's a thing. But I guess it could be, you know what I mean? Because the whole Chris Coke not being more prevalent in Arizona is kind of a shock to me, since he definitely makes the caliber of music that you could put next to anyone. So yeah, I don't know if I answered that question straightforward, but like I said, I do think Hispanic artists might work harder, but is it working harder if somebody can do the work twice as fast and kind of make a better product? Like I said, as far as hip hop music is concerned. So yeah, kind of that's my 2 cents on that. I hope that's not controversial. It's just kind of how I see it. And so I just put it out there. You know what I mean?
Of course, sir. Now we must break down Project Pipeline and explain Arizona media in simple terms.
Yeah, Project Pipeline. All right. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were asking me about this whole Arizona media thing, and they were asking, they was like, Adam, how do you see it? How do you look at it? What do you recognizing when you talk about this? Do a deep dive into it, basically. So I was like, all right, but I mean, how do I do that? I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, if Arizona has a pipeline issue, they, for some reason, their goods can't get to the people that it needs to get to. Well, then why don't you build the pipeline? You know what I mean? So, forgive me because I'm doing a lot of things at one time. That's what we're going to do. Okay. All right. So first off, this is the foundation. This is the lower level. Okay. This is a table. Okay. All right. And we're going to call this, we're going to call it AZ Media, A&R division. Okay. So these are, in theory, going to be the people that is supposed to find the talent, find the music, and then send it up the chain. All right. Now, at this table, there's only a certain number of chairs here, but there can be an infinite number of people. Okay. But like I said, I'm just going to cover some of the big ones that we got currently here in Arizona, and just how I see them and how, I use them, how I just, view the landscape, right? So first, let's start with two new ones that I like. These two guys, Jug Media and Smoke Joke Podcast. I hope I said that right. I really like their content. I like what they do. I think it's interesting. Like I said, I give a shit about Arizona music. Like, I love Arizona music. So anytime anybody creates anything to where it even appears like they're talking about Arizona and music, like, I'm gonna check them out. You know what I mean? In fact, like I said, the question from earlier was from their podcast. Like, they talked about it, and like I said, you should definitely check them out. I think they're great. Like I said, we'll see. Like I said, now we got to pump out. We got to pump out the work. All right, like, you gotta, weekly, bi-weekly, but more. You know what I mean? And also, like, I know that y'all were kind of uncomfortable talking about that. It just you could see it through the screen. Like, you're good. Just say, everybody's got an opinion, and I think especially in Arizona, we need people to just say that opinion. You know what I mean? Like, definitely just let it fly, let it out, because you never know what's going to come from it. You know what I mean? All right. So they're the two new ones, and we're gonna say that they're just music enthusiasts. They like Arizona music. They support Arizona music. All right. So we'll have those two. All right. So let's do another one. AZ Way Too Active. AZ Way Too Active has been around a long time. So I know I spoke in the last episode about the white dude over there. His name is Staz. I know I called him like the horse guy or something like that, and that's because it's like something the stallion. I don't know, but they call him Staz. All right, so that's him. No, they've been around for a long time. I think they've done a lot of local stuff, shows, things like that. But I think this is another one I'm gonna put under the music enthusiast. All right, and like I said, those titles that I'm giving are gonna make sense in a second, so you can see kind of how this entire kind of table dynamic kind of ties together. All right, let's go next. What do we got? Phoenix AZ Rap. Let's add them. And like I said, if I leave anybody out, it wasn't on purpose. I just grabbed a bunch of names, and I'm just going to tell you just how I'm looking at these things. It just makes it easier for me to work. You know what I mean? All right, so Phoenix AZ Rap. Another group that covers a lot of Phoenix area or Arizona area music. Now, I don't know if they have necessarily a specialty. Like, I can't say. So for me, basically, I'm trying to find, like, if I need a certain thing regarding music, what's the platform that I can go to and I can get what I'm looking for? You know what I mean? I'm a guy that kind of is, what's the word for it? I just have specific moves. Like, I'm moving because I want something, because I need to know something. I need to get something, you know what I mean? And I like to go to one place, you know what I mean? I'm not the guy that goes to 6 or 7 different shops. Like, if I know that I need a tire, like, I'm going to that tire shop. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to Walmart. But anyway, so yeah, Phoenix AZ Rap. So we're going to call them, just because I don't know what specialty I would give them now, we're just going to add another enthusiast. Okay. And like I said, maybe, there's something that I don't know about that any one of these platforms are like really good at. Like maybe they're tied into, I don't know, the banda artist or the R&B artist or whatever. Right? And if that was the case, then obviously we'd put down, hey, this is who you might want to, check out if you're looking for R&B artists. You know what I mean? All right. And with that said, let's go in and put in one that we know has a specialty. Everybody's favorite DJ. I'm being sarcastic. DJ Certified Savage. Okay. Now, she's, I guess, been doing it for a long time, but at this point, everybody knows that she is the street chick. And like I said, she has the ends on, I guess, the street artists, the street music in Arizona. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you're looking for R&B, if you're looking for like, Mexicano shit, like she ain't your gal. Like that's not who you want to go to. So she's going to. This is when the fucking specialties come in. All right, street stuff. All right, and me to make it easier. If it ain't street, then I'm not taking anything else from her. Like if it's street shit, okay, I'll listen. But if she wants to talk about, artistry, anything else than that, I'm all right. You know what I mean? We'll maybe I'll come back if I can get another source. But you got to check that shit when you get it from certain people. You know what I mean? Okay, now, so we got our first specialty, Certified Savage with the street stuff. Let's do another one. Let's do this AZ's Most Wanted. Now, I don't know a ton about this person. This is the black dude that, for one, he's got a serious thing against justice, which there's got to be some backstory. Like, I'd love to know what the backstory is. But he 100% is on this Hispanic rap. Like, the Hispanic artist, the Mexicano shit, like, he's posting that shit on the regular, which is great. Definitely in Arizona, you want somebody to be a hub for that, and that's what you get from him, which is awesome and much needed. Now here's the big one. Some people like them, some people don't, but you can't deny what they do is absolutely needed. The Desert Coliseum. All right. Now I know that they done fucking disappeared all of a sudden, but this is one of the few. I don't want to say only. I'm going to say few. One of the few platforms that were covering artists, all artists. You know what I mean? Like that. And like I said, for 3 years they were tracking music that was put out, and like I said, I thought it was great. I don't understand why more people don't do it. Like that they gave Arizona the blueprint, whoever the fuck they are, and I just think everybody should have ran with it. And if there was a list, and we're gonna get to lists are gonna come into this thing at some point. That's the list that I would look to. Not because I'm number one on it. That's not what I'm saying. Because that's the only list where you can find an Atom Bomb, a Cactus Boys, and like a real Kyrie. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna cover not only multiple genres, but are going to have something. They will have something for everything. And it was just music. It wasn't a whole bunch of gossip stuff. It wasn't, this rapper slept with that rapper, or it was none of that. It was just strictly music. So that's, like I said, that's a big one. And we're going to call it, well, they got options. So for now, I'll just put options. Yeah. Okay. So let's go with another one. Let's do this one. Phoenix Hip Hop. Now I like Phoenix Hip Hop. I've spoken with, his name's Kobe. I spoke with him once. Seems like a nice guy, seems cool. Now I would say definitely specialize in, I'm not going to say woke. It's more like boom bap. I don't want to say deaf poetry shit, but it's a lot of, I don't know, deliberate rap. It's definitely like the spirit. I don't want to say old school, but like woke boom bap, spoken word type shit. Like there's definitely a niche that he's into. I know Maze Overlay fucks with him like heavy, and I wouldn't call him like woke or anything like that. Like he's one of the guys that are definitely varied. Like he can do a lot. But definitely Phoenix hip hop is another one that if you're into, like I said, the boom bap, like the true essence, soul of rap, they will have somebody that you might like. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that's who I would go to if I was looking for that style for a particular project that I'm working on. Okay. So do we have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute, what's going on here? We should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I guess we can do. This is another podcast that I really like. I guess they went on break halfway through the year. It's a little interesting, but the Control Room podcast. I always forget names. I'm bad with names, so in case y'all haven't realized that yet, I'm terrible with names. But I know her, Wavy Baby, is that right? I know she's a songwriter, and like she makes music herself. I will say that she is a damn good songwriter. Like she that pen works. You know what I mean? Like I would, she did. I think she like won a Grammy or something like that. Is that true? Like I don't know if that's true. But like I have listened to some of her music, and like the writing is top notch, like super duper cool, super talented. And their platform is cool. Like they've done a couple of interviews that I liked. I don't like that they're kind of getting this stigma of like the gay podcast. I don't really like that. But like I said, I think that's an easy fix. Like don't get rid of that by just have some different some guests up there, and you'll fix that problem. You know what I mean? Yeah, call up Certified Savage and get a couple street dudes on there, and you'll be on a pop. You know what I mean? So that was the Control Room. Okay, now, all right. Now here we get to the fun part. Okay, so you have all of these entities. This is the A&R division. This is Arizona Media, and we want them to find the music. Okay, you want them to, scour the streets, scour fucking Arizona, and find the hottest shit that they can possibly find. And like I said, all these people are music fans. Like all these people enjoy music. So in theory, what you would want is everybody to have a list. Okay. It does not matter who is on this list. You do not have to put anyone on your list that you do not want. Okay. But I think it is a good idea for everybody to have a list of, and like I say, just call it what it is, my favorite rappers. You know what I mean? Because I think when you get top and best, that's where the discord comes in, because it's like, well, wait a minute. You can't have this rapper on when that guy will fucking, you know what I mean, wrap circles around him. You understand what I'm saying? So when everybody has a list, that's when the fun part happens, okay? And because if everybody has a list, well, now you can kind of compare notes and see, oh, well, this group thinks that these 10 or 15 artists are, what's hot in Arizona. But this group has 15 with some names that are similar and some names that are not. Well, then you're going to work off of each other's paper. Is that making sense? Like we've gotten deep. We're already super deep. Like I hope I didn't lose anybody. All right. But like everybody, you want to have a list. I know everybody was like fighting over whether these lists were a good thing. These lists were always a good thing if you were using them properly. And, there was at least a list that covered all corners of Arizona. That's why we put in these specialties. You know what I mean? So like I said, if Phoenix hip hop puts out a list, like I understand that it might be heavy on the spoken word and the classical boom bop shit. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not going to get upset or worried if they don't have the, super duper rapidy rap rapper on there, because maybe that's not what they're into. You know what I mean? And the goal of everybody is to eventually build this ultimate list. And, well, we'll get there. Let's slow down. All right. Cornelius, let's take a break real quick. And then, because I want to show them two lists, and we're going to compare and contrast. I'm going to show them what is supposed to happen. All right, Cornelius, we good?
Yes, sir.
All right, so look, I've got two lists here, and basically I'm just going to show you, like I said, we have the table, we've got the A&R division, okay? All of these people are supposed to be putting together their own list from just their experiences in Arizona over, I don't know, a 6-month period over the year, however you want to rank it. It doesn't matter. So I got 2 lists here. So the first one is, what does it say? It says Arizona Hip Hop Motion Meter, whatever that is. We're going to go off of that, and that has how many? It has 10 names. 10 names, okay? And then the other one, which was the easiest to find, was just the Desert Coliseum from 2025 list, okay? Which that had 20 names on it, but we'll just use the first 10 just to, make it easy, okay? So, all right, first thing, we'll take Atom Bomb off, all right? Because I'm clearing everybody on this motion meter ranking, all right? So we're gonna clear Atom Bomb, all right? Merkham's is on both lists, all right? So we're gonna clear Merkham. Merkham's is good, okay? All right, now this is where we start to the fun part, okay? Kiana Lede, she would clear everybody on both lists. So that's 3 right there. That's 3 people that you're going to have on your list, all right? I know a lot of people don't want to, include, like, Kiana Lede because she is signed, I assume. She's just at another stratosphere, I guess. So I understand if maybe you want to leave her off, but because we're just going to go for the first 10, you're going to have to compete with the top 10. It's kind of what it is, all right? So that's 3 of 10. Odd Squad family is on the Coliseum's list. Okay, so now what you do is I'm over here on the Arizona Hip Hop Motion Meter Rankings. Who on this list are you taking over the Odd Squad family right now? Okay. Bailey, I don't know who that is. Bass Gang University, I don't know who that is either. Daily Finesse, are you taking Daily Finesse over Odd Squad? I don't know. Maybe, who knows? What about Jada Pink? Yeah, we're not taking Jada Pink over Odd Squad. All right, so we got Odd Squad going up right here. So that's 4. Okay. Dub Fuego. Basically, you're gonna go through everybody. Okay. So like Jada Pink, Dub Fuego. You taking Dub Fuego over Odd Squad? You understand what I'm saying? This is the fun part. This is like your fantasy draft. You know what I mean? Big Doobie. I don't know. You have to ask some people. J Waves. MT the Don. I like MT though. Like he's dope. Very underrated. Markel Delwan. I hope I said that right. I don't think I said that right. All right. So which one of those are you taking over Odd Squad? Me personally, because I'm helping you, I'm going to do it. It's the fun part. I'm taking Odd Squad over anybody left on this list. So that's 4. All right. Now, futuristic. Futuristics, we're not really doing it right now. So I'm taking Daily over futuristic right now. Yeah. Give me Daily. Okay. Boom. We'll do that. So that's 5. That's 5 of 10 already. All right. And we've still got a lot of names on this list. All right. Now Big Doobie. There you go. Big Doobie's on both lists. He clears. Boom. Put Doobie on both of them. Okay. Who else? Alexis. What is Alexis doing? And my question is, are you taking any of these people over Alexis? Are you taking Bailey over Alexis? Bass Gang University. Dub Fuego. J Waves. MT the Don. Just all of them. Are you taking any of those over Alexis? I don't know any of these people, so just for the purposes of this example, I'm going to take Alexis. We got Alexis going. All right, so how many is that? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 of 10. We got 3 spots left, okay? Who else? Maze Overlay. This is when it gets fun, and you figure out who knows ball. So which one of these people are you taking over Maze Overlay? Bailey, Bass Gang University, Jada Pink, Dub Fuego, J Waves, MT the Don, and then Markel. I don't know if that's how to say your last name, so we're just gonna say Markel. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. No, bro. I'm taking Maze over all these people. What are we talking about? I don't think it's even close. But like I said, this is why it gets fun. You get to talk about music. And listen, if anybody can make an argument for any of these other people, well, that's what your platform is for. All right, you do it on your platform. Like that's crazy, yo. y'all gonna have to look me in my eye and tell me that you're taking any of these folks over Maze Overlay right now. I'm just saying, you got like, I would love to see it. Oh, I love a good comedy show. All right, what else? So that is, how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 2 more spots. 2 more. And now, in this list that I was going off, Arizona hip hop motion meter rankings. All right. So the last 2 names on this Coliseum list was Chris Koch and King Queese, and I'm not sure what they're doing now. So we'll go back to this one. We'll go back to this hip hop motion meter. 2 names. What 2 names? That's the other thing why having conversations is such a good thing, because what is how are you I guess pulling these names? Like what's the criteria? Because it says on this list criteria, music relevance. How about music releases? Have these people put out any good music lately? And what is that music? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you would have to you show me the piece of relevant music that, say, a Dub Fuego has put out. And like I said, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I'm just showing y'all how this shit is done. And like I said, y'all can get mad at me all you want, but this is how people are looking at Arizona and like coming to the realization that most of y'all don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to play favorites as long as you're gonna say you play favorites, because if you don't, they're gonna do exactly what I'm doing, and they're gonna be like, wait, well, there's no way that I'm taking, I don't know, whoever over any of these 8 that we got so far. You know what I mean? We don't have to finish it because I think y'all get the point at this point. But it's like, yo, that's how you do it. And when everybody is looking over everybody's list and everybody's going over everybody's paper, you're gonna come to, and the list is gonna have to be bigger than 10 guys. You're gonna have to have like probably 40 names or something like that. But then in the middle of this table, you see where it says AZ Media, A&R division. There's a list of 40 people, okay? Everybody's looked over everybody's list. They've had their discourse. They've agreed. They've disagreed. And they've come to the realization that, hey, these 40 people are Arizona's best, all right? But you got to back it up. See, this is when you got to figure out who's professional and who can, like, put their feelings and their biases aside and, like, have a rational conversation that, hey, I really love this artist, but this artist can't hold a candle to that artist. And I know that that's where I think media and platforms kind of struggle because, like I said, everybody wants to be friends for whatever reason. But, yo, I want somebody that's going to keep it real, okay? Investors that are coming to spend money, if you want to take Arizona to the next level, like, they want the best you got to offer. If you are giving them a stack of garbage, bro, then you get what we've had for however some odd years. You know what I mean? So like I said, and then once you get that list, you're going to send it up the chain. Okay. And like I said, on another episode coming, we'll talk about the next level of the chain, because I know there's some people that are going to look at the names on this graph and they're going to be like, oh, well, why isn't so-and-so there? Or why isn't so-and-so there? Some people won't be there because they're a little bit farther up the chain. And like I said, spoiler alert, they hold more culpability to why Arizona has been shambles and really not had any hip hop relevance ever. All right. So, and like I said, platforms, when you sit down and get to do that and get to look at other people, you get to listen to music. Like I said, you can do it on your free time, whatever. It's fun, man. Like I said, that's when you know who really enjoys music and all types of music. It's cool to have a favorite genre. It's cool to have a favorite style of rap. But like, if you want to be like a serious voice that's taken serious by serious individuals, then you're gonna have to be a lot more varied than just I like this and this only. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that was that. Showed y'all how it's supposed to run on the ground floor. And like I said, keep pumping out these lists. Like, by all means, come with the list. Because like I said, the fun part for a lot of people is going over these lists and listening to the music. But it's a double-edged sword, because like I said, if you put somebody on one of your lists And like I said, this is when, it's okay for people to say, or maybe homeboy is not ready, or homegirl ain't where she needs to be currently, because if you put them on a list of like relevancy and motion, and then you go and they've got 100 monthly listeners and they haven't put out a song this year, we're halfway through the year, like, and then you can't figure out when maybe some new music is coming, well, then people realize, oh, this was the homie hookup. You know what I mean? And you don't want that. You do not want you to be pitching potential investments on homie hookups. That shit's embarrassing. And I have heard that that's happened a lot. All right, I ain't gonna say no names. I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm told that Arizona is famous for, yo, man, spend this because it's my friend, and not that it's good. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah. So that's how that goes. Cornelius, do we have anything else?
No, sir. You put on a masterclass. Brilliantly done.